Hello, I am Disbrew, and we start this week with the ever-present, ever-dominating Elden Ring, focusing in now on nearly 1 million concurrent users, placing 6th of the all-time most played games on Steam is absolutely astronomical. Considering that those other top 5 places are largely filled with free-to-play games, Elden Ring is just smashing everything. And it's quite interesting to see the dance at the top of the Steam leaderboards, because previously Elden Ring has actually been at the top, but now Lost Ark has taken its place back again at the top of the boards. But if you look at the peaks, Elden Ring even today was indeed above it. But all may not be as it seems with these current numbers, because even though it is the weekend, Lost Ark a few days ago banned over 1 million accounts because they were just fake, they were bots, they weren't even real players, and lots of their queuing problems have stemmed from the fact that there were so many bot accounts in the system. And as you can actually see in the Lost Ark player numbers here, after it was actually taken out around this time on the 4th, the numbers actually decreased for a while by about 60,000 players, but then since then, day by day, have increased back up to Lost Ark's previous numbers. Now, it could be a weekend, that could be a legitimate reason for the numbers of players on Lost Ark to increase, or we could simply be seeing those same fake bot accounts be created over the next couple of days, and that is why Lost Ark is back up to its numbers. It's going to take a while for us to see, but I would say that after the weekend is over, if we go back to the more legitimate player numbers, then you would expect those numbers to decline, and probably for Elden Ring to take its place back at the top. But if they don't, if Lost Ark actually continues to maintain its numbers that it had with these bot accounts, then it looks like they've all been recreated all over again, which really is not a good look for Lost Ark. So this might be a weird situation where Lost Ark might actually be hoping that their player numbers go down, but Elden Ring might be a perfect storm of both difficulty and popularity, and that always leads to one thing. Gold sellers, yes, Elden Ring players are buying millions of runes on eBay. Now, I know the difficulty is something that will cause problems for people, but you can just go and grind out this stuff on your own, or you can pay some money, they'll give you all the runes, and you'll just become super powerful immediately. Yeah, it kind of defeats the object of the game for me, especially in a single-player game. Not sure why people are doing it. But if you do become super powerful, there are some amazing things you can do in Elden Ring. Like in this video, where one player one-hits the gargoyle boss to prove that magic is overpowered. And I just want to show you this video because it's absolutely astronomical. This is a guy who's taking a boss from full HP all the way to 0 in one single magic spell. First, you've got him buffing, and there's the beam. There is the beam of death. It's like half health now. Now he's a third, and now it's dead. After some of the difficulty I've had on bosses, I'm extremely jealous of what that guy can do, and also realize it would ruin the fun of the game for me, so I have mixed feelings about that video. Battlefield 2042 is a game that launched with massive issues, but also had deeper, core, fundamental problems with the game, and they never got talked about because everyone was so busy talking about all of the bugs. But then after it was explained to them and they had time to think about it, they got so close to realizing what the problem was, and then completely ignored it and went another route. Honestly, you can't save this game. I'm not even sure it can be saved at this point, because Battlefield 2042 gets antsy about whether 128 players is a good idea after all. And you only have to look at games like PlanetSide 2 to realize that actually games can have an almost unlimited number of players. That's never the problem. Players generally enjoy chaos. Shooting people is fun. What isn't fun in a first-person shooter is not shooting people, so your problems should be obvious, and yet it's not to Battlefield and the Battlefield devs who actually come across this. This is the core problems of the map fundamentals and what they've learned about it, and it seems like not a lot is the answer to that one. And they say this comes as a result of the introduction of 128 players, and it doesn't, because your player count doesn't have anything to do with your maps. You can add too many players on a map and people would still probably enjoy it. If Call of Duty has taught us anything, it's that people love really small maps full of lots of players. What they don't love is really big maps that you can never find anyone on to shoot them in your first-person shooter, because then they go in combination with some of the biggest maps that we've ever created. While large maps offer more play space and freedom, freedom to go off and be bored. A side effect is that the gameplay is now more spread out, resulting in an overall increase in time to combat when related to playing the objective. We've seen you use terms such as walking simulator to describe how this feels in the game. We understand that this isn't a satisfying experience, and agree that there's too much overall travel time. But what are they considering? Yeah, we need less players. Obviously, we need less players. 128 is too many players. I mean, obviously the problem with our maps is that people aren't having enough fights, so what we should do is lower the player count so that people have more fights. In terms of solutions, DICE is looking into permanently reducing the player cap on breakthrough mode to 64 players. Why? More players means more fun, more players means more targets to shoot, more players, more better. No, the real reason why they're actually having to reduce the player count is because nobody's playing the game. 2,277 in-game right now. If you've got 128 players per side, that's not many games, and that is across all of Steam. That is across the entire world, and servers are geographically located for ping reasons. The reason why they're lowering the player count isn't because it's better for the players, or because it's more fun. Because they have no other choice, because the game has absolutely dropped off a cliff when it comes to player numbers. And they can try and spin it however they want, claim it's all for the players, for their experience, however they want. But the basic logic of their argument doesn't work, and quite frankly, I wish they would have just said the truth. Halo Infinite Campaign Co-op has been delayed. Again, yes, apparently the non-linear, wide-open sections of the campaign present some big challenges. For a multiplayer game, I've never seen a company have so much difficulty just making people spawn in alongside you. I'm really not sure what the problem is. I mean, Dying Light 2 managed it. You would have thought that Halo could do the same, but apparently no. It's just too difficult to make someone spawn into the same map as you are. Because the reality is that it's going to take more time to land a high-quality, full-featured 4-player network co-op experience in the massive, wide-open world of Halo Infinite. That is a lot of words to try and make something sound far more vastly complicated than it actually is, isn't it? Add the players in, increase the health of the monsters. GG. But all of this means that we will not be able to ship the campaign network co-op on May 3rd. At the start of Season 2, so they already had till May to get this done, and they still can't manage that. Honestly, I don't know why something so simple could be so difficult to make, but apparently Halo is managing that. I mean, I can't believe that out of all of the games, you've had Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo, the 3 massive FPS names in the industry. It's like out of the 3 big behemoths of FPS, you would have thought one of them could have come out without any issues. Maybe next time, eh? Hackers have been causing massive problems for Nvidia. It all started when they hacked into the Nvidia servers, stole a load of information, and then started leaking things. Like the DLS source code was leaked. Yeah, proprietary information getting out into the public isn't exactly great for Nvidia. And while no other company could take the source code and use it themselves without legal implications, I think they could probably look over it and then maybe be inspired to make their own system. Especially if they didn't know how this was done. Well, now they do. But that wasn't the end of the leak. When people started leaking employee credentials and threatened to release more about Nvidia's closely guarded secrets. Those secrets included a massive leak about the actual Switch Pro. Yes, this leak set the world on fire with people talking about a Switch Pro, all because it was referenced inside the actual information, and obviously had support for ray tracing and DLSS 2.2. And quite frankly, I would love a Switch Pro with better graphics, higher frame rates. I think that's a great idea. But with everything that Nintendo have said, and if they want to continue selling those old consoles, then they probably want to keep this secret, and I'm sure they weren't happy about this if it is actually in the works. Although, that does go against what Nintendo has said recently. The hackers weren't done because they then went and immediately hacked Samsung afterwards and released 190 gigabytes of their sensitive data, and I imagine if they've released 190 gig, they've probably got a lot more in the bank. Honestly, this must be every company's worst nightmare when all of your information gets released and someone's threatening, hey, if you don't do what we tell you, then we're going to release it. Because they originally hacked Nvidia, not over stuff like DLSS, but they said if you don't release the cryptocurrency limiter on your GPUs, something that was originally implemented in order to try and scare off cryptocurrency miners so that gamers could actually get a card somewhere near retail price. Whether it works or not's another question. But it was trying to get that limiter removed, why they originally targeted Nvidia in the first place. But why they targeted Samsung is another question altogether. According to this article, the hacker group has not made any public demands like they did with Nvidia. So we'll have to wait and see what develops out of that one. When you're a game developer, you have many things to do. It's not just designing the game, there's a whole lot of administration that you have to do as well. And Konami, they haven't done theirs. Yes, they let Silenthill.com domain expire and some joker bought it. And now he's actually redirected it to this, which is just a tweet which said, "I wish I hadn't designed the effing pyramid head," from one of the developers. I mean, I have no idea why this has happened, but I think it's awesome. Unfortunately, I don't know how they're going to get that back. I don't think they have any right to get that back. It's like once someone buys it, they buy it. And so now Silenthill.com will forever remain a meme from a tweet who hated designing a character in the game. Will we ever find out why he hated designing Pyramid Head? I'll have no idea. Will Silent Hill ever go back to the domain the holders that it was meant to? I highly doubt it. Whatever happens, this should probably be a lesson to everyone. Renew your web domains. But for now, that's it from me. Let me know what you thought of any of the topics down below. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe. More videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.